tweak a word
Is
here
it
or
also
there.
an ordinance or not?
No, not an ordinance, but they just, every year they adopt it, and there's no consequence section in there. It's really just, we aspire to do great things, and this is how we're gonna do it, and then every year they do that. But if it was just done once in 1953, you could rest assured that no one would know where the document is or what
So
it's
if
in.
it's
That process
not
is
an
sort of like
ordinance-
reading FOIA
if
once
it's
a
not
year.
an ordinance, Art, then if somebody wants to refer to it, where would it be? I mean, where would it
Well,
be?
right now, we're storing, if it's a policy, we're storing policies on the board docs site under a section called policies. And they would be a adopted policy. Now, 3 years from now, we may not use board docs, it might be something else, and so we have to figure out whether on our website or somewhere else. But
It would be in the minutes though as well.
oh yeah, it's in the minutes,
And
in the
then you have
minute
to
book,
dig back and try to
And
find
it
it.
depends on
which is not very
who-
well indexed, and
It's not indexed, and it also depends in a lot of cases on the person who's actually putting it in the bound books. Often, if it's a lengthy type of document, it's in a box in the basement in a file, and you gotta go to that meeting date. You
it's
know,
just bad.
And like I had the one that was a
Absolutely.
board of
I think
supervisors
it'd be-
meeting
this
from
is for the
1919.
benefit of the
I needed
citizens of the
document,
county as
and-
much as anything. I think having it in a place where everybody can find it consistently is positive.
Well, I got the sense of the board last time it was discussed in an open regular meeting that they were leaning towards making it part of the Rappahannock County Code.
Yeah.
But there was discussion, Christine had advanced the idea that it be part of the organizational meeting, every year.
And there was discussion of trying to be a preamble to the
Yeah.
code, which then I think gets complicated with our code publisher.
That might be just a practical matter, is to like try to stick it, and is it part of the code? If it's in the code, is it part of the code, or is it a preamble of the code? Well, how about we just make it simple, make it part of the code and exempt it out from the misdemeanor, misdemeanor punishment provisions, so that we don't have to wrestle with unnecessarily with that obstinate mule, just leave him behind.
It would have a kind of an impact on your Commonwealth attorney workload
What's that?
if it was a misdemeanor.
Well, that's true. Maybe, or it could be the county attorney's workload. I mean, the county attorney can prosecute the misdemeanors
Oh,
of the
okay.
county code.
Well, that's you too now.
For the time being, it's me. So,
As we discussed earlier, you could still commit a misdemeanor that might apply to the code of conduct.
Absolutely.
Which would still be a misdemeanor.
If it were 50.
Right, so that's again
If it
the
violates the
reference
general
to the
law.
state statute, all right?
So this is not gonna live
Oh,
the state statute.
You could speak
Right.
abusively to somebody and apply here, but it could meet a different standard, and someone
Yeah,
could
exactly.
swear.
and in that 15.2 statute I was telling you about specifically uses the word disorderly conduct. The board is still bound to make a finding that there was disorderly conduct before it can make a fine. Well, my point and Gary's point was, well, that's 18.2, 419. That's disorderly conduct, okay, in a public meeting. It could be that you're drunk, it could be that you're abusive, it could be you start a fight, you could start cussing somebody or insulting somebody's mother or whatever it is in a public meeting. That's a criminal offense in Virginia. It's already
So
classified.
this is not gonna limit that.
No.
No. The misdemeanor exception says that this code of conduct, the violation of shall not in and of itself be a misdemeanor.
Right.
So you throw a book at someone.
Well, that could be a
Covered by-
couple things.
Depends on how good your aim is.
That's right. It could be just a simple assault, or it could be assault and battery, and it could be disorderly conduct. Or it could be worse. You could knock the guy's tooth out, and all of a sudden you're looking at a felony.
Spoken like a prosecutor.
Wow, that's my favorite stuff.
But you can still throw the book at him and you're okay.
I have absolute immunity according to the Supreme Court of the United States.
Mr. Chairman, if we're about to adjourn, may I just offer something to the members here?
No one objects.
On Monday, we're going to present a petition to the board. This is an advance copy. And Monday, you'll get the same thing again. We're going to offer it to all.
Always the question.
The petition urges the board to proceed and adopt a code of conduct.
So it says on the top here. How do people know what they're signing?
Oh, there was a, well, the one that went on the internet, there's a, I don't know, kind of the,
I'm sorry, that one is stapled, this one's not.
Yeah.
But Gary's got a point. You don't have proof of what they were signing.
It's the concept.
Yeah.
No, is it stated, is it, I'm not reading, is
We
it?
did not, nobody subscribed to specific language.
No, I'm not saying that.
They're
Does
supporting-
it say here that what you're saying is what it,
We
what they were
support the
saying?
concept
Yeah,
of,
yeah.
at the very top.
Yeah, each one, and then
Petition
some were gathered by email, and then
Standards
said
of
the
conduct,
email said the
okay.
same thing.
standards of conduct, that's fine.
Okay, it says encourage the, okay.
It's the.
You know, I fully support, I didn't sign it, nobody asked me to sign it, but, I support,
Well, you
you
can
know,
still
doing
sign it.
something like this in, just so it's in plain language.
No, and
in the
It's not
public.
closed, you can still sign it.
And what we're having here
Lost my pen.
is a very,
Probably not appropriate.
we're having a very healthy discussion here as to the specific wording.
Right.
So people said we endorse the idea.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure it was on the piece of paper, with Gary's question,
Everyone
and
was.
that's fine. It is.
John Jackelman is so supportive, he signed it twice.
He only gets counted once, so.
Gary, you wanna give us a recap as to what our task is
Good
to
luck.
do?
I'm glad Paige is here.
All right,
Got the video. I'll load it up as soon as I get it.
I'm not glad you're here, I'm glad your camera's here.
that was mean.
Oh, no, we yank each other's chain all the time.
Let's see. So I think there's a general interest to, at least in the preamble section, or what is ultimately, I think.
We're gonna-
One is to just generally reference FOIA and FOIA,
Okay.
rather than just all laws.
And we're gonna identify the people to whom it applies with specificity. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna look at a due process clause or a procedural clause on how to enforce any alleged violations hereof.
Right, including a reference to 15.2 if there's a logical reference.
And then, well,
If.
I'll try.
If.
And then there's, okay, references to FOIA and COIA. And then we're going to,
Who it applies to, and the prescriptive path for complaint enforcement, and is there a shall as far as the due process?
Okay.
Not, you know, you may do this. If you're gonna
right.
go to
I
the
understand.
chair,
Yeah.
this is the process we're gonna follow.
What's next?
Stephen,
Then we're just gonna add, the,
he's got a list too, I guess.
use Madison version for advice and consent of their 14
The
for our number 13.
policy role of members,
members.
gonna expand that to the original Madison version.
And then in the workplace
Workplace
environment, we talked
environment.
about adding maybe additional into the abusive conduct,
Fostering
personal charges.
a kind of
abusive-
gentler workplace.
And then add number 6 from Madison back in,
Yeah,
as
and
the
Mr. Freitas.
decision based on merit.
The,
Decision based on merit.
on the workforce environment, the way the feds did it was a healthy workplace environment. And that gives you plenty of wiggle room, all right?
I'm not looking for wiggle, we just want people to,
Well, I understand, I'm just saying, you wanted to be very general, that's all, and not limit it, and not go through all the details, I'm just,
what's
just a
healthy for
suggestion.
you is not for me.
Well-
Page had one more, which was in K, define the word confidential.
Okay, confidential information. Can you break that down?
It's in paragraph K.
All right. Well, it's not gonna be ready by Monday.
Right, so we'd have to meet, well, and we get some board input after Monday,
Yeah.
because we can run the pencil sketch past the other members.
Well,
We're on the agenda to discuss it, so we can.
Well, it's on the rules, it's under the Rules Committee report out, so what I would recommend is that you report back out. It's a robust discussion, and that there appears to be consensus, at least, I believe, I haven't heard not.
All the shareholders,
That it go towards a
stakeholders.
amendment of the code so it doesn't get lost, and that the misdemeanors be exempted out, and that sort of language has been developed. And now it's really wordsmithing and fine tuning of the language that will ultimately be recommended to the board for consideration and approval.
And Mr. Chairman, one of us will stand up at the public comment section and say that United Citizens supports and applauds the continuing effort of the board, and we
I'll be
have
there.
these
Yeah,
petitions
I'll
to
be
there. Your
offer.
group could do
And
that
that's
too,
it,
that would
no
be really
speech,
constructive.
just thank you.
Oh,
and
you
we
want- so you
applaud
want me to
and
speak as
support.
RCCD?
Here's the petition, we'll have a copy for each board member, and then we'll just,
What
I will do that.
I agree with Mr., if UCOR,
RCC.
RECE,
Reese's Pieces, no.
Jointly, not jointly, or independently, both say they support the idea, and certainly the discussion and input, and whether you support whatever comes out the other end will remain to be seen. I think it's very powerful
Well,
for the community.
it's an admirable project that the board is undertaking, and we support the continuing hard work.
Oh,
I will-
that's,
I will-
that's
Well,
what I-
if
Check
we
with
can
my other board
incorporate
members, but I expect it to be a yes.
problems
So I'll do
I
it
had
as
are-
our, normally my
are,
comments
I
are
think,
just me,
corrected,
so,
or
but
at
I'll
least
specifically.
corrected, and I'm supportive of it.
Do I get a constructive vote? Point? No?
But without a process, it's meaningless, because it's just gonna be
Yeah. But
it can be used as an attack.
And I will continue to naively believe that the 99.9% of this is not the attack side, and it's the affirmative, positive message. The message in a form that people can absorb.
Well, with due process, it can't be used as effectively as some sort of attack.
Only thing I see with that is you're gonna have an argument over whether or not due process even applies. Because if you're not taking away something from somebody, are they entitled to
If
due
you're,
process?
if you're doing something that could injure somebody's reputation, then yeah, I think that they are obligated to due process.
Well, we'll have to make sure that section is, concise and clear, and then it's up to, somebody's gonna have to say, yes, those are the words I like.
Well, I guess we gotta get them down on paper first so they can, so is it my sense that I am to spend time on getting this done?
I would appreciate you if you would work on those suggestions that we've got here.
Right? I'll make sure you get the link to that video to run against my notes.
I'm not gonna look at it, I can't stand to look at my cell phone. I'm just gonna rely on your notes.
You're right in the middle of it.
Yeah, you were hiding over there
I was
before.
supposed to sit over there, how come you made me move?
we got-
No,
We got 11:24.
How busy are you?
Are we adjourned?
You have a lot of work.
A lot. But we'll get it done. My favorite time is Sunday afternoon, because there's no phone ringing, and nobody's dropping in on me. And
That's what 6 to 8 in the morning's for.
Well, the parade will be going right by your office.
yeah, this
on
Sunday I'm gonna
yeah,
probably
so
have to
find another
beg off.
place
It's
to
my
go.
dad's birthday anyway, so I can take a day off.
I didn't hear from the members. Are we adjourned?
I move to adjourn.
Second. We're adjourned.
Excellent.
Have the conversation just before adjournment can be just as